So if I pay tithe, what the pastor decides to do with it is between the pastor and his God. I have done my part.
I don't think God has called them.
I pay tithe because my Bible says so, not because the pastor says so. I believe I should pay tithe. It's not because of the pastor.
I'd like to read a Bible verse for you.
Religious leaders in every level should just stay out of political matters.
They are humans. They have the rights. How can a developing country like this be developing a country like Rome?
One Sunday, people can raise an amount of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis.
A church does not necessarily mean that it is for Christians. A church is a group of people who have gathered to worship.
We should tax our churches.
What I tell you, we should tax the church. Any group of people who gather to worship, whether they're worshiping the devil or they're worshiping God, tax whatever it is they're doing there.
I don't understand why you should be in Ghana and pay offering and your money has to go to Rome.
Welcome to another episode of Speak Up Live. Today we're discussing the role of religion in governance in Ghana. The first discussion prompt is: politicians use religion to manipulate voters and gain power. Show your green card if you agree, or your red card if you disagree. Let the debate begin.
Watching campaigns and all those things, I've never seen any politician say that, oh, come and join this church or do this or anything like that. So I disagree that they use religions to manipulate voters. Because even, let's take Muhammad like this. They say he is a Christian, but most of his votes are in the north. And most of the northerners are Muslims. So I don't see how politics relates with religion.
When a politician makes an appearance in your church or in a mosque, right? When the politician makes an appearance, and let's say the opposition does not make an appearance, quote and unquote, it is believed that this particular church is supposed to be for this politician that has made an appearance. Typical example is, what's his name? Owusu Bempah. Typical example is what's the name? Bedu Kobi. This a typical example is what's this guy's name? Opambo. When these politicians make an appearance, and from the charisma or from the actions of these pastors, when these politicians are around, you could tell that yes, this pastor is for this person. And mind you, these pastors have some sort of influence on the congregation. So if by body language, the congregation reads that, okay, my pastor is for this person, definitely I would want to vote for these people. I'm yet to see, or yet to hear, or yet to conclude that a politician has made an appearance in a particular congregation, and this congregation didn't vote for him or her.
Okay.
Do you read news?
Yes, for them.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because even before the election, when Baumia was saying that I'm a Muslim, so vote for me, where were you? And then his vice, what's his name?
Napo.
Matthew.
Napo and Chema to me was even making fun of it, that why would Muslims, and then Samaria Baumia was going to those Muslims area, trying to influence them that, he's your people, vote for him, he's going to help you, he's going to do this. Where they? I'm not sure you read news, sir. Please, point of correction, they have great impact. Like, politicians use religion to manipulate voters to gain power. That's what Baumia was doing.
From what she said, I want to even start from the Baumia thing. So also, I saw that, I heard that some Christians were also using that the fact that Baumia is a Muslim, you shouldn't vote him into power because he wouldn't support some Christian stuff. So they also use that to manipulate the Christian voters to not vote for Baumia, although Baumia had good points and good things he was going to do. Also, the same way musicians Daddy Lumba. His fans voted for him because Daddy Lumba sang that song. So the same way, maybe I've come to Pentecost today, I've gone to Adonche today. The people of the church are so connected to the church that because of that, like he said, you made an appearance. They would vote just because you came to the church, not because they even know your policies or anything. So I think the church does have an influence. And then, like I said, the Christian churches, some of them used that to manipulate the voters not to vote Malvia.
Well, I think, yes, like everybody else is saying, the politicians use the church to manipulate voters and gain power. The politicians use religion. Okay, so that even makes it broader. So it's not just Christians and it's not just Muslim, not just traditionalists. Like what Bawumia did, what Muhammad didn't really do that, but some people were of the opinion that if Bawumia wins, there are going to be Islamic folks all over the Flagstaff house, which was crap according to me. But because of that, someone will not vote for Bawumia. And to top this up here, when like you said, when the politician makes an appearance in the church and the other does not, most of these churchgoers are gullible. So because my pastor says this guy is here and he has come to visit us, they are more likely to vote for that guy who came to visit than the guy who did not come to visit. Because some of these people don't even know what the politicians are talking about. Because you've come, we've seen you, you fellowship with us, you are getting our votes. It's as simple as that. Ghanaians do it. It's not even new. We know they do it. So that's why the politicians do go to these religious bodies and organizations to appeal to them for their votes. If it wasn't possible, they wouldn't be going. The fact that they are going there means they know they can gain some votes from them. You get?
So some of the pastors also prophesy that this party is going to win, this party is going to win. So somebody be like, hey, Nyami Nipa say, oh, this party will win. Then God is saying that this party is going to win. So let me just vote for that person. So, yeah.
I'd like to read a Bible verse for you. Romans chapter 13, 1-2. It says, obey the government, for God is the one who puts it here. There is no government anywhere that God has not placed in power. So those who refuse to obey the law of the land are refusing to obey God. Like I was saying. Would you like to read? The pastors wouldn't, the government officials know what is in the Bible. They know how vulnerable Christians and Muslims are, excuse my words. And they know that you guys would go for what the pastor is saying. That is why they go there to manipulate you guys in voting for them, because the Bible says it's God who has chosen. So you mean God chose Akufo-Addo and God chose Mahama? Is that right, please?
Yes. According to what you've read, yes.
According to what I've read,
yes.
God chose Mahama, God chose Akufo-Addo. I rest my case.
All right.
Can I have my phone?
Okay. First of all, I don't really want to address what you spoke about, but to an extent, let me do that.
If you don't.
Please
Understand that.
Both of you. Okay. First of all, let's not read the Bible out of context.
Yes.
Exactly.
But there is nothing from verse 1,
My G.
which is going to
Let
verse 2. I have to read it.
Please,
Let her
relax.
finish.
Sweetheart, let me laugh.
Calm down.
All right. If you read your Bible, you know that God is very big on authority, on respecting authority. The government here is authority. Respect, my guy. You see, I don't want to address this, but I'm just saying that the point is respect authority. If, sweethearts,
Government is authority.
if whichever government is in power now is in power, the point is respect authority. Point blank. Just respect authority. That is it. I'm not going to address this any further. Now, to the question. Politicians use religion to manipulate voters. It's true. No, I'm not. No, relax. I'm not saying it in the sense that, and this has nothing to do with the religion, has nothing to do with whether it's the church, whether it's the mosque, whether it's whichever, whatever. The people we are talking about are politicians. At the end of the day, like you said, like I am saying, politicians are people. They will use whatever they have, whatever they can, whatever they see to their advantage, right? This particular thing we are talking about has nothing to do with religion and has everything to do with the politician. You said politics and religion goes hand in hand. Okay. No,
to the Bible.
Sweetheart. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. The point is, if you were a politician and your aim is to win, right? Even as a normal human being, doing whatever you are doing, whatever competition you are in for whatever reason, you will do whatever it takes to win. Okay, it's a game. At the end of the day, everybody's playing to win. Whatever I'm going to do to win, I'm going to do to win it. If I have to manipulate it to do it, if I have to say this or say that, I'll do it. This has nothing to do with religion. People are gullible. People are gullible, points blank. If you come to the church, if you've made an appearance, right? If you've made an appearance, and me, I don't want to vote for you, I will not vote for you. People are gullible. If you've been able to ginger me to vote for you, good for you.
I don't agree, because out of these churches came the politicians. Before they became politicians, they were members of the church or members of the Muslim society or members of the occult or whatever religion that they came from. Before they got to where they were amongst us. They grew up with us. So if, okay, so it's not manipulative if a footballer from our church comes to stand in front of the church that, oh, he's going to play football against another party. Let's just put our hands to pray for him. That is not manipulative enough.
Yeah, praying for him.
They are praying for him. That's the same thing that happens in the church. Esther also went to her church for them to pray for her.
Yeah, we pray for her.
Exactly. She didn't go there to state out her policies. She didn't go there to say, if you don't vote for me, then someone will fall in the gutters. If you don't vote for me, the sea in Kole will enter someone's laptop. She didn't say all those things. That is the church she belongs to. So what is wrong if she goes to the church?
I think
How many times do you see the church call out politicians come and stand in front of the church for them to be recognized and state out their policies? They are going there because, oh, let's say a prayer for him or her. The word manipulation. Where is it?
influence.
The word influence is not.
No.
No.
They've changed that.
It was the word manipulation is too strong for what you guys are saying. Him or her belongs to that society or that religion. And then we recognizing that, oh, one of us, you know, a church is a family, right? So you go to ICGC and we say, oh, one of us is going to run for president, right? Let's appreciate, or let's say a word of prayer for him or her. Yeah. That is not manipulation.
Yeah, but that's not what happened.
But it doesn't mean that as a congregation, we are bound to vote for the politician. No.
Hold on, I get you, but you don't need to be bound to vote for the politician. The fact that among the congregation is in your head, say, this is a man of God. And the man of God is saying, say, please vote for this guy.
It's not done.
Hold on.
Please vote for this man. In front of the congregation.
Let him finish.
Be realistic.
Hold on.
Be realistic.
The fact that he doesn't say, vote for this guy, doesn't mean he's not saying it. Body language is also a language.
Religious leaders should stay out of political matters to prevent influencing political decisions. Show your green card if you agree, or your red card if you disagree. Let the debate begin.
I agree religious leaders should stay out of anything that concerns politics. In the sense where your congregation, you have a big influence on them, right? If you stand right in front of your congregation and you are siding with a political party, on the long run, if this political party fails, it blows back at you. Your congregation loses trust in you and loses whatever faith they have in you. Now, this is the case where this congregation comes together because they have trust in you, and for some reason you are able to solve whatever issue they bring to the church. Now, this is the case where you are addressing, let's say, for example, there's a corrupt leader in the country who has been running for 8 years, 9 years, and still wants to gain power, and people are suffering, and you still come to the church and convince your people to vote for this person. You, on the other hand, you are doing wrong to the people. It's point blank. Stay out of it. Your vote is your personal decision. That is why when you go to the ballot box, it is only you and only you know who you voted for. Yes, you can, when these politicians reach out that they want to come to your church, yes, you can make them come. But then categorically standing out to assure to assure that, okay, I want you to vote for this person is wrong and you shouldn't involve yourself in that?
Well, to an extreme extent, it doesn't really happen. Well, maybe there are one-off situations, but it doesn't really happen where you really hear pastors come and stand on stage and put their political stance all over their platform. It doesn't really happen. But for the sake of the arguments, I would say that yes, religious leaders in every level should just stay out of political matters because it can get messy. Save yourself the trouble. I believe just save yourself the trouble. Because like he rightly stated, if anything is to happen, you've boldly put your political stance on your pulpits. You boldly put your political stance wherever. It can cause a lot of problems. Not even only about your congregation isn't trusting you, but safety matters as well. If there's an issue and it is out there that's, I'm sorry, but since we're already using Pentecost, let me just go ahead. If your pastor comes to stand on stage and says that he's declaring himself an NPP, this is an NPP church, yada, you never know what might happen. Any kind of backlash, any kind of anything that is happening against that specific political party, the church might face some form of destruction or whatever it may be, just because of that. So my stance is save yourself the trouble, save your congregation the trouble, stick to what you're doing and progress in life. Thank you.
I think, you see, politicians are smart people. Religious leaders are also smart people. And I think they are just playing with the emotions of their members. They know for sure how vulnerable you Christians are. Oh, William, calm down. Come, let me finish talking, please. Let me finish. They know how vulnerable you are. And let me take, like you're saying, it doesn't happen. You can say that, but the fact is, we are in Ghana. We all know Usu Bempa was MPP, now it's NDC. We all know Prophet Nigel Gezi is NDC. I can point blank, like mention names, but it's not needed. So if you say it doesn't happen, you're just saying what you want to say, but the fact is, it's happening and it's wrong.
I believe it's not the pastor talking to us, it's God talking through the pastor. You, the pastor, can't control what God is going to ask you to tell the congregation. So if there's something going on in the country and God is telling the pastor to talk to address it, you, the pastor, you don't have any power to control what God is asking you to tell your people.
Let's not forget that these religious leaders are humans. We are making it look like they are outsiders. When they talk about politics, they are humans. They have the rights. They have life even outside the church to live. They have every right to decide whatever that they want to decide about political issues. So we basing it on Pastor Wade, he has this right to say I am MPP and I'm NDC. So if I said I'm MPP and then you feel that, oh, my pastor, and then what has the church got to do, or let's say the religion got to do it because the religious leader is this party, and then we all follow. Did he put gun into your head that me, I'm MPP, so follow me? No. Like, do you get it? Yeah. If they have their own personal decision that I want to follow NDC, I want to follow MPP, we should allow them be. Or if they want to address any political issues, we should allow them be. They are all humans like us. They have the right to decide anything they want to decide. So yeah.
I'll say it doesn't happen. Again, I'll tell you, it doesn't happen. Where religious leaders should stay out of political matters to prevent influencing political decisions. It doesn't happen in churches or in Bible-guided churches. Let me put it that way. Because I know a lady pastor out there who once said, if John Mahama wins, something, she's not going to, it was in a negative way. But when John Mahama won, she was playing John Mahama's campaign music in her church and dancing to it, right? So with somebody like this, what are you doing in here? What are you doing in here, auditorium? Think about it. But if you read your Bible and you know what God is asking you to do as a Christian, you won't go to the church and find your pastor telling you that because Eslawusu is in our church, and she has promised our church communion wine for the rest of maybe a decade or something. So we should vote for her. You don't hear these things. You don't hear religious leaders telling you to do something to influence political decisions. You don't do that. You don't hear them. Maybe you said TikTok. Who told you people on TikTok are pastors? Or people on TikTok are churches? One man will sit behind his camera and say something. He is not a church. He is not a religion. He's an individual with a belief. Two different things.
Yeah. I don't think religion is actually involved in political matters.
Yeah.
So like from the first question, you were saying that politicians rather use religion to influence the decisions. So I think because the person is going to that church doesn't mean the person is just going. Like you said, that's pray for me, blah, blah, blah. Yes. So I don't think it's the religious leader who's actually inviting you come to my church. The person went on their own accord. And then, like you are saying, it's up to the members to say if I want to vote. So I don't think the churches are actually involved, because there was also this thing going around when Baumia went to Adam Chief. Yes. And then he put the thing on him. But apparently he didn't want to. But Baumia asked him to actually put the clothes on him. So I don't think them visiting my church means I am saying that, oh, I actually support their party. They came on their own accord. I don't think I told them to come to my church. So that's my take on it.
So I also agree with Mandy's point that it doesn't happen at all. Because, okay, see, it's not only Christianity. You go into Islam. How many imams do you see going around and talking in public? For them, I'm a Muslim, so I can tell you as a matter of fact, imams won't gather people and talk about something. And even in the previous prompt, you ask if they do announcements. Yes, they do announcements if there's a certain prayer that's been done, someone's funeral. But when we finish praying, we do a dua, and that's all. We are gone. You don't sit down and listen to announcements like Christianity. My question is the term the political decisions, is it the political decisions made by the leaders or the preference of political leader made by the people, the congregation? Because if it's political decisions in terms of the leaders, then Ghana has nothing to be concerned about this prompt. Let me take example, USA for example. If you go to the leaders of the mega churches, they try and get involved with political leaders simply because they want them to be able to, when they come into power, they'll be able to affect the tax policies. So when they collect the tithes and other things and donations, they don't get taxed on it. That's when we can say that they are affecting political decisions. But in Ghana, that doesn't happen because we don't have any super mega churches. We have big churches, fine. But we don't have mega churches the way USA, they have mega churches.
I think we were all focusing on political party you should vote for, but truly, yes, political decision is general. We are not, the religion is not influencing the policies they should bring. The religion is not influencing that. So I think you are right when you are that.
Churches should be taxed because they generate massive revenue. Show your green card if you agree, or your red card if you disagree. Let the debate begin.
We pay money every Sundays, pay for prayers every Wednesdays, and they wait once a while. They go and do donations. It's a scam. Another thing is, personally, I don't have a problem with these one-man churches like Obinim, Obofuo, and those stuff, because the problem I have with is the Pentecost, Methodist, and Roman Catholic. I don't understand why you should be in Ghana and pay offering and your money has to go to Rome before it comes back to Ghana. How can a developing country like this be developing a country like Rome? Because the money you pay here goes back there to develop their country before it comes back to us. They pay our pastors, pay our workers, and at the end of the day, they end up spending all our money. So if the churches are not taxed, how can we move forward? Especially the old churches, the Pentecost, Anglican. Oh, don't smile, I'm serious. You are in Ghana. You are developing England. How is that possible? was it 3 to 4 years ago, there was a case at Rome where they said the Roman fathers were molesting some one or two kids, so they had to pay a huge amount of money, and this money was taken from the monies the Roman Catholics pay from Ghana to Rome. So my problem is, how can you be in Ghana and be developing Rome? I have been a Christian before.
Okay.
The fact that I'm not a Christian now doesn't mean, have you seen me? Okay. The fact that I'm not a Christian now doesn't mean I've never been a Christian before. Okay. I was in the Roman church. And the money we pay here goes to Rome, and they pay our pastors from Rome. So you can't tell me what you're saying. Why shouldn't the churches be taxed?
So, with my opinion, I feel like now these days churches has become businesses. People are operating to become business, because if you look into our universities, there are other institutions that studies theology, which is the study of Bible and then religion. So yes, people go in there, study those courses, become pastors, ordained pastors, which I don't think God has called them. But then they are looking at the business aspects of churches now, and then they are studying those courses. So if you look at churches like the one-man churches especially, one Sunday, people can raise an amount of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis, and it is going to the church account. You see, if as a country, as a developing country, we need to make money to develop roads, we should tax our churches, because there are some churches I know that a Sunday they can do fundraising, and then the money they get is in dollars. Only church. So imagine every month we are taxing these churches. Ghana, we can get money.
So when you start taxing the fundraising, you are taxing the money that you are taxing the fund they've raised for a project. You get? And he also said we pay money to the churches and the money is sent to Rome. So if they so you agree that they should tax the churches, and then if they tax the churches, the government makes the money. What difference does it make to you? You answer that question later. And also, I think we can't tax the churches. Yeah. Your question says massive revenue. First of all, churches do not make revenue. It's offertory. Tithes. I pay tithe because my Bible says so, not because the pastor says so. I believe I should pay tithe. It's not because of the pastor. So if I pay tithe, what the pastor decides to do with it is between the pastor and his God. I have done my part. So if you are going to tax my tithe, that is another business altogether. But first of all, it's not even revenue they are making. It is offertory and tithe. So if you are going to tax that, what are you hoping to achieve by taxing? Because you are of the opinion that they make a lot of money. They do a lot of projects. They do a lot of humanitarian projects, donations, and what have you. If it's not for you, it could be for someone. If it doesn't help you, it will help somebody else. Taxing it and giving that money to the government is not going to change anything.
I get you, but you can't take money from us every Sunday, and once in a while you do donations and you want us to clap for you. Hold on.
By force.
And someone,
brother. Second offering. Fruit of the month.
Okay, first of all, offertory, tithe. You were trying to say first fruits.
Yes.
That's what you were trying to say.
Okay. So
we are not paying those things because our pastors have asked us to pay. First of all, it's biblical. Secondly, massive revenue. You are wondering, right now this argument is because we are wondering where that money is going to. Do you think God is... you said it was your time, it's mine. Hey, do you think God is sprinkling electricity on the church? Or he's sprinkling water? The church is paying water bill. The church is paying lights bill. If the church doesn't have its own building, they are paying rents. Yeah? Do you get that? Things run on money. All right. You mentioned a point that the Bible says somewhere that when money is given to the church, it should stay in the church. Mind you that a lot of people and companies and things in Ghana, when they hear that you are a church coming to do something, they charge you more because they have a built perception in their minds that the church has money. The church has money. Where is that money? The church has money. Where is that money coming from? Where is that money coming from?
From us.
It's coming from us. Fine. It's coming from us. So if the money is coming from us because we have decided to come to church, you are charging me more because it is church. Like, first of all, that alone doesn't make any sense.
When you're speaking, I like you speaking with facts. I don't like you just throwing out words like that. I'm opportune and I'm blessed to attend one of the best church in the country, which is Church of Pentecost. Now, I know very well for a fact, whatever offering, whatever tithe that is coming to the church is going back to the society. We were in Ghana, relax. We were in Ghana when Church of Pentecost provided a prison for the government. We're in Ghana when Church of Pentecost built a conference center at Gomoafete. When you go there, that is one of the conferences most government officials use now for their meetings. We're in Ghana when Church of Pentecost built schools for the society. We are in Ghana where, when COVID happened, these same churches provided food to the people. We are in Ghana where even churches provide welfare. If, as a Pentecost, if as at today I finish SHS and I do not have school fees for university, I can go to the head office for them to pay my school fees, free scholarship. Let's move away from Pentecost. I do not know about Obinim. I do not know about what's this other name. But one thing I know is this guy.
Philadelphia.
No, the other one.
Ebenezer.
The Obofo, very good. The road leading to his church at Kenton Chrono, Pankrono, what's the name, in Kumasi, was very bad. He alone, single-handedly, the same thing as Obinim, constructed the road. Where was the government? Now, when you are saying tax, these monies are being deposited in the bank. And even as an individual, when you deposit money in the bank, it is being taxed every month. Do you know that? So when you are saying we should tax the church, what are we taxing them for? Because at the end of the day, this money is going back outside. As a church member, I am happy giving money to my church because at the end of the day, I know one way or the other, a widow somewhere, a student somewhere who has no means to pay school fees or who has no means to feed is able to walk up to my pastor and tell my pastor, oh, and then they will go back into the welfare money and provide what's the name? Aid to the person.
You're making an argument that you don't know what the pastors are using the money for. If a pastor comes to stand on stage and tells you the number of people in his congregation that he has provided for or helped, we are the same people who will stand and say that you, as a pastor, you are standing here, you are doing this for people. Why are you saying this? Why do you want that? They should come and stand here and broadcast it. First of all, your blessing is not in what people will say about you.
Thank you.
I don't think churches should be taxed. So the first thing I want to say is that the churches are asking you to pay offering and all those things. It is voluntary. No one is forcing you to pay that offering. And then that offering is being paid from someone's income. A person is charged on that income. And like he said, our church, Pentecost, we do so many things for the community, things that the government is actually supposed to do and the government is not doing. And I said, I know where you're coming from. Non-believers are the ones always attacking the church that the church should be taxed.
Even recently, Chedia provided money to people that lost their shots in Cantonment.
Yes. And then the law, hold on. And then the law says that churches shouldn't be taxed. The law is what governs the country. And the law is saying churches should be taxed. The law says churches shouldn't be taxed. So why do you want to challenge the law at this point?
Okay, so back in the Bible, it says that people brought the things to the church. And the things came in rice. It even came in blocks, cement, to put up buildings. That was back in the day. So let's convert all these things into cash.
Back then, they had money. There was money.
But then the money was
back then they had
yes,
money.
some people gave money.
Some people gave money.
Exactly.
And
Hold on. It was left in the church,
Yes.
as you said.
Yes.
And the people who needed it came in to pick it up.
Yeah.
2025, evolution. Things have changed. Right now, we are not waiting for people to come into the church. We are going to give it to them. That is why the money in the church is used for the church and for religious purposes. The building we are in here right now, right? Shooting this
Yes.
Speak up.
yes. It's not free.
Yeah.
Right? When we decide to bring money and put it on the floor, the admin won't come and say, hey, I saw the money on the floor, so we are taking it. No. We won't put the money on the floor. We won't keep the money in the building. Rather, we'll pay it to them. Right? We are maintaining the studio. Not the same way the church is maintaining their home. the church is not just a church, it's a home for religious people. So if you feel like the government should tax homes of people, what are you saying? Because the same money goes into providing food for the needy, orphanages. Do you know some church have orphanages?
Proper regulation of religious institutions would prevent exploitation of church members. Show your green card if you agree, or your red card if you disagree. Let the debate begin.
I think there's a proper check of regulation. Some people wouldn't experience in your churches, like when you go to Agra church, sometimes they can do sikada, fatwa ready to 2,000, which is not realistic. It's not done anyway. I come to bring 2 other students for 2,000 Ghanaians. Something better, sometimes. So this one is not good. I think they should do proper regulations on the church, because there are certain things and even words pastors use in their churches which aren't appropriate, because you can see people saying, excuse my language, we for and all those kind of things on their posts, and then if you we don't get to say anything about it. But then I think there should be proper regulation on it.
One of your issues is about the waves, right? Did Jesus not call relax, you foolish Galatians?
Oh, yes,
Call a spade a spade. If what you are doing is foolish, it's foolish.
Relax. Excuse my language. So would you prefer someone sing, excuse my language, oh my chair or that's not oh, yeah. You see it on the internet or
Saying it to the congregation.
Relax.
Don't act like you don't have phone.
I have phone. We watch today's TV. We see what that does.
Okay. So right now, first of all, I'm not trying to say somebody's church is not a church, but when you're trying to make some arguments, Charlie, let's not go to some places. Let's look at people doing the work.
Yeah, what churches?
So you see, what is a church? In fact, let's look for the meaning of that word.
Can I go with that one? A church. So a church is a group of people coming together. It's not necessarily the building. The church is the people. So even with the first point, if 3 people come together, I say you're going to tax those 3 people.
Relax.
The church is not the building.
Relax. Now let me add up. The word church. Do you know that the word church is not mutually exclusive to Christianity? Do you know that? A church does not necessarily mean that it is for Christians. A church is a group of people who have gathered to worship. Whatever they are worshiping, they are worshiping. That is what a church is. So if you are telling me that we should tax, first of all, if you are telling me we should tax the church, any group of people who gather to worship, whether they are worshiping the devil or they are worshiping God, tax whatever it is they are doing there.
Okay, I agree that the churches should have a proper institution to regulate them, in the sense that if now in Ghana, we all know that churches are just popping up. I can also stand up today and say, I have the calling. You can't challenge me. If I have the calling, I have the calling. And by that, I think the group, I can't suggest the people that should regulate them, but there should be a body that regulates all the churches. So say everything they do will fall within some sort of line. So say we won't have the likes of, I don't want to mention Agrada's name, because I can't say she does not have the calling of not. I've not mentioned her name. So people like that do not come and deceive people. The whole point is for members not to be exploited. So if there's a regulatory body that monitors who comes and who does not come, who does this and who does not do what, then the question of people being exploited will be minimized. So I think the churches should really be regulated. Even if not for anything at all, we could have leaders of churches come together to form the regulatory body. That will help. Because I think you guys have a regulatory body, yes?
Yes, we do.
Even if my church is not a big church like your church, we should both conform to some sort of ways of doing things. That will help all of us.
Years ago, Paul Kagame, I'm not mentioning it correctly, he had to close down 500 churches. Just because this man here can just wake up and say he's been called by God. How do we validate, say, Nyame friend? At the end of the day, you guys will tell me, say, if you pay your tithe, you've paid it. The rest is between him and God. But how do you validate, say, he is really from God?
By their fruits, you will know them.
Yes.
By their fruits, you know them. Explain the fruit for me. What do you mean?
That's what it's in the Bible.
Explain. Me, I don't read the Bible. Explain. Their ways, you know them.
By their ways, you will know them. By their actions, you will know them.
Okay, I get you. But
They're not in the
what I'm trying to say is, most churches should be closed down, especially the what church?
Awesome.
Okay, especially the old churches who take their money and send it back to their headquarters.
Oh, that's
You are not aware the Romans take your money to Rome. You are not a Catholic. Okay, churches like Roman Catholic, Pentecost, Anglican, all these churches should be closed down because they are exploiting our people. The one-man churches also should, I think there should be a policeman standing there. Now I'm serious, like, if we can't close down the church itself, because at the end of the day, they're exploiting us. Because what we see on the internet is just the small fraction, a tip of an iceberg. What really goes on in churches, like what my sister said, when we pay money in the church, they are not forcing us. My sister, if they say 10,000 for number, and you are one city, hold on. You are 10, if you have 10,000, but how would you feel if you are one city for maybe?